So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are making a Hypixel SkyBlock emblems tier list. So you can see we've got every single emblem in the game over here. We're going to be judging with the live chat whether it's good based on look and whether it's good based on how difficult it is to get. So let's jump into it. But we have S plus, S, A, B, C, and D. So personally, I think as far as the ones that have two different colors, we'll just go one or maybe two higher with the gray versus the orange. So the gray will be lower than the orange. We're going to start off with the mining 50 and 60 skills. So the gray one here and this one here, these are the pickaxes. Personally, I think this is a pretty good one. It's of course not super difficult to get, so it can't be ranked super duper high off of that, but you know exactly what it is whenever you see it. They're definitely got something to do with mining, whereas some of the other ones I don't think really express what they are too well, specifically the berserker one. Like it's a meteor, right? I mean, that doesn't really scream berserker to me. But all right, it looks like we're leaning towards B, which I can agree with. The gray one is pretty mid, so we'll go with B for that one. And as far as the gold one, I think we'll just go one above for each of the gold ones. So gray is B, gold is A. All right, the next one is gonna be the farming 50 and the farming 60 ones, which is this flower right here. It is one of the easier ones to get. I personally don't have the 60 one yet, but if I really wanted to, spend like a couple hours on it, wouldn't be too difficult. All right, it looks like we're leaning towards B just barely. Some people wanting to put it in C, but I think B is fair. It's pretty much the same as the mining one, just for farming. It gets its point across, it looks good, but it's not insane. Not really one that you're going to want to flex with, you know. The next one is the combat one. So this is one that a lot of people will use. Getting combat 60 is a pretty good accomplishment, but this one right here and this one right here, I feel like this one gets used a lot more often, and it is like, you know, an explosion, so I think it should get ranked higher. All right, we're pretty strongly put in A, which is fair. I do think it's better, so we'll put the A one right there, and then the higher rank one will be in S. All right, what's next? Foraging 50. This emblem is a pretty big flex right now. I know a lot of you probably don't know what it looks like because nobody has it, but it's this little leaf right here. This is Foraging 50. So what do we think it should be at? All right, chat is leaning towards S+, heavily towards S+, which personally, I do agree. If you see somebody with this emblem, they're a professional gamer and they know life this game. But it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. It gets its point across. The gold one, when that comes out, will definitely be a pretty nice flex for sure. The fishing emblem right here. So fishing 50. There is not an orange one again because there's not a fishing level 60 yet. But if you see somebody with this, it's a pretty big flex. I don't think it's as big a flex as the S+ for foraging, getting level 50 in foraging. So personally, I lean more towards AS, that kind of area. Probably S, because it looks really good. It does get its point across. All of the skill ones are very, very good. I think once you start getting into the level ones, that's where things are a little bit rough. The Cata ones, some of those are a little bit rough, but it's exactly how I would draw a fish. So S+, that's a fair vote. That's a fair vote. But the majority of the chat is leaning towards S, which I do agree. It's not as good as the foraging one, but I don't know. Maybe it should be an A, but I do think it is a bit better than combat 50. Hitting fishing 50 is pretty impressive, about the same amount of impressivity as hitting combat 60, so I think that's a good one. Okay, next up we have enchanting 50 and 60, which is these right here. It is really easy to get. This is one of the easiest emblems in the game to get besides like the early skyblock level ones, but especially enchanting 40. It's going to be one of the first ones that you get, especially if you're doing reset. So I think it should be ranked pretty low. Chat votes for C. I think that's agreeable. It is definitely worse than hitting one of these, but it looks pretty good. So I don't think we can put it at D. Next one is alchemy 50, which is this little brewing station right here. It's just a pot of coffee really, but we're going to call it a brewing station. But alchemy 50 is pretty impressive. I mean, it's pretty good. Pay to win emblem, real. Nearly anybody can do it, true. And it's not really a flex. You won't really see many people using this emblem. So I can support putting it at C. It is the max level of a skill, but it's one of the easiest skills to max. So putting it at C is fair. Next up is Carpentry 50, which is this little house looking thing right here. This one is honestly one of the worst looking ones in the game, in my opinion. It takes a long time to max, but nobody's going to be flexing it. All right, the chat is split between A and C, so I'm going to be the tiebreaker. I think this is a C rating. It looks pretty mid. It's not that difficult to get. I think that's fair. All right, next one, Taming 50 and Taming 60. So the Taming 50 and 60, that is this little clover right here. So this is Taming 50. This is Taming 60. All right, we're tied, split between B and C. So I'm gonna take the tiebreaker here. It's a B. If we've got to pick between B and C, I think it's a B rank. Personally, I don't know. If I was gonna put one like way higher than its lower version, it would probably be Taming, just because it's so much harder to get that. But it is a bit harder to get Farming 60 as well. But I'm okay with this. This looks pretty good. Now, one of the biggest flexes in the game, in my personal opinion. There are not many people that have these. This is the social emblems, which is the facts right here. So this is social 15, I believe. Yep, social 15. And then the orange one is social 25. So what are we thinking, fellas? I feel like these should be ranked pretty high. Although they are a really good flex, I don't think they look that good, to be fair. They're some of the only ones that have words in it. Granted, the skill is useless, but if people are visiting you, you're this popular, that's a pretty good flex, I would say. As the tiebreaker here, I think this is a pretty big flex. You don't see too many people with this. So I'm going to put it at S tier, and we're going to put facts at S+, I think. No, we'll split. We'll go with S and A. We'll break it down a little bit because it does look pretty bad. You know what it is when you see it if you've played the game for a while, but if you haven't played the game, you just notice someone has this emblem, you have no idea what it is. That is all of the skill ones, so not bad there. Let's move on to the Catacombs ones. So we've got quite a few Catacombs ones to go through. First off, we're going to start the poll for the Cata 50 and Cata 60, or Cata 40 and Cata 50, which is this one right here. This is Cata 40. This is Cata 50. Personally, these are pretty difficult to get, in my opinion, especially Cata 50. It takes a lot of time. We are very split between S and A, so we're leaning towards S, which I do agree with. A lot of people do have this emblem, but it doesn't make it any less impressive. The amount of dungeons you have to do for this is pretty wild, so I think that's fair. Archer 40 and 50, which this is Archer 40, this is Archer 50. I think you can tell what they are pretty well, but none of these should go below B, I don't think. Archer's pretty entertaining and not boring, so it's not as painful to get. Yeah, if I see somebody with an Archer 50 one, then I know they're pretty good at the game, but that is also the one that I do see the most often between the Catacombs ones, so if I see somebody in a lobby with Archer 50, though, I'm scared. I do not want to spawn a dragon in that lobby, you know? They're leaning A and B right now, so I guess I'll be the tiebreaker. We're going to put it at A, and we'll put this one at S. So not quite S plus potential, which I really do think this one looks pretty cool. But the Cata 50 one looks, honestly, it does look quite a bit cooler. All right, next up, we have Burrs level 50, which I believe is this one. Yes, so Burrs 40 is the gray one. Burrs 50 is the higher level one. Of course, the orange one. Personally, if I see somebody in a lobby with this, it's pretty impressive. But at the same time, I have no idea what this is. I had no idea what this was. I saw somebody in a lobby with it, and I had to wait for them to talk to figure out what emblem they had on, because it doesn't look good. I can't tell that it's a berserk. If I saw this, I would honestly kind of think it was mage right off the bat. I would think of this as mage because it's like a fireball coming down like the Fire Fury staff. So personally, that's where I would lean. And chat is leaning towards B, which honestly I do agree with. It is super impressive to have, but the design of it is terrible. Next up is Healer level 40 and 50, which is these two right here. So what are we thinking? If somebody has a max healer milestone, then you would normally think that if they're really good, if they've played healer a lot, right? They've got a healer milestone, then they're probably not good at the game. But honestly, if they have this, then they can pre-dev an M7. They can do a ton of other things that are really useful, and you need a ton of skill to actually play healer at a high level. So it looks pretty cool as well. Personally, I'd put this one up there, which it looks like the chat is kind of split, but they want to put it up high. It's S or A. Which one do you think? What do you mean healer is the easiest class? I wouldn't agree, honestly. I think tank is pretty easy to run. I would say it's better than that, but we're split on S and A, so I'm going to break the tie. This is an S and this is an S plus. If you have these, you've played a lot of dungeons, like a lot, and you've done things that nobody else in the party wanted to do. So mad respect for you if you are wearing one of these. Next up, we have Mage level 40 and 50, which is this lightning bolt right here. The gray one is Mage level 40, and the orange is mage level 50. And honestly, the mage one looks super duper clean. I really like the look on this one. You definitely know what it is whenever you see it, because like who else would be having a lightning on them, right? I think this is one of the cooler ones to have on as well. It looks really sick. Ours class is mage archer. Yeah, I mean running mage is pretty difficult as well, to be fair, but like a lot of people are looking for those. Generally, if you're looking in party finder, right, it's going to be harder to find a healer than pretty much anything else, at least for master mode in the higher levels. For someone to be running healer at like a high enough kata to do M7, that's pretty crazy. But being able to run mage in those floors as well is extremely difficult because you're so squishy. But the chat is leaning towards A right now, so we're leaning towards A. All right, that's fine. I can agree with that. That's okay. I would have preferred it go up to S plus for the max one, but we're leaning towards A. I think that's all right. You do see a decent amount of these as well. You don't really see the healer one that often at all. Next up is tank level 40 and 50, which is this anchor, because they're the anchor of the team. So this is tank 40, this is tank 50. Where are we putting these at? Getting to tank level 40 does take a lot. I mean, getting any of these classes to level 40 takes a lot. Getting to level 50 takes forever. But if you are good at tanking, then the runs are just so much easier. It looks pretty good, but of course when I see this, I think of fishing. I don't really think of tanking, so I'm okay with the chat's vote, which is to put it at A. That is fine with me. So we have a lot of A's right now. We have no D's yet, but I think those are coming up. Next up is Kata F7 completion and Kata M7 completion. So that's this skull right here. So this one is F7, this one is M7. Now this is one of the easier ones to complete, so I expect this one to get a slightly lower rating. It looks cool. It does look really cool. This is one of the cooler designs, I do agree. However, it is so easy to get. At least the gray one is so easy to get. The higher level one looks super cool. It is one of the coolest designs in the game for sure. Which, I mean, it's just a skull, but you see the other designs we have here. None of them are quite as much of a flex to look at, you know. So we're leaning towards B or C. I'm gonna put it at B. I think that's fair. So B and A, pretty good, but not the best. Now we have one of the biggest flexes in the game. I'm not even going to do a poll for this one because I think everybody is going to agree with me. Class average 50, this one right here, it belongs in S+. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. If you're class average 50, you are the dungeon king. You know what you're doing. If we had an S++ section, this would go in there. This is probably the best emblem that is obtainable right now, I would say. If you have this, you're the GOAT. But yeah, some of the emblems in the pictures in here, they aren't the same as they are in game because I think they used a different font for some of these, but you get the idea of what they're supposed to be, you know. But that is all of the Catacombs ones. So we had 3 from the Catacombs in S+, which I think they definitely earned it. Let's move on to the leveling ones. So there's a lot of pretty simple ones down here that I think we can all agree on are pretty mid, but we'll do a poll. So we've got the level 50 and below emblems. We're all gonna put these in the same section because none of them look great and they're not that impressive, of course. So this is the level 50 right here. This is the level 40. The heart is level 30. Where is it? This one is level 20, and this diamond is level 10. They belong in D, I agree. So D rank, D rank, D, D, D. These are all terrible. If you're wearing these, it's not a flex. It's not a flex. It's just because you don't have any other emblems yet. All right, now let's do the level 100s and below. Level 60 is this one right here. Level 70 actually doesn't look bad. It's this one. Level 80 is, where is it? This one right here. Level 90 is these boxes, and level 100 is Jerry. So these ones, they don't look as bad as the ones in D rank, of course. I do think these should go a bit higher. They look a lot cooler, but of course, none of them have their orange variations. So again, not that much of a flex. Personally, I don't really think running a level emblem is good at all because your level already shows next to your name if you have that on. So running the level emblem doesn't seem super impressive to me. So I agree with the chat putting these at C, just a little bit higher because they just look just a little bit better, but you're not really going to flex wearing these. You might wear the Jerry one as a meme, But other than that, you're not really going to wear these. Now we get the slightly higher level ones. So we have level 120, which is this one right here. Level 140, which is the soul flow sign. Level 160, which is the caution sign right here. Level 180, which is the little mustache looking face. And level 200 right there. So we're leaning towards B or C. Since I'm the tiebreaker, I'm going to put them at C, because again, if you're wearing this, you don't have anything else to wear. All right, now you get this emblem for hitting level 250, and I think that's a little bit more of a flex. Plus, it actually looks good. So we've got the smiley face right here. That is another nice little meme one. So what do we think, chat? All right, we're leaning heavily towards B. I think that's fair. It looks really good, but it's not a flex. Now this next one is for hitting level 300, which again is a pretty big flex. And again, I don't really care for wearing these. Hitting level 300 is a flex, but wearing the emblems is not that much of a flex. So the level 300 is the spaceship here, Darth Vader ship looking thing. All right, chat has voted B. I agree, pretty mid. Not really gonna be flexing these, of course. Next up is for hitting level 350 though. It is this radioactive emblem right here. What do we think? All right, we're leaning towards B. I can agree with that. All of these are pretty mid. Honestly, the amount of D tier ones that we have are pretty slim. A lot of the designs are pretty cool. It's just, of course, the lower level ones kind of mid. Now, this is the last currently obtainable level emblem for hitting level 400. The next emblem after that is for hitting level 450, and then for hitting level 500. So for hitting level 400, you get this one right here. Personally, I think that after you hit level 400, they should all be orange, but for hitting level 500, that one is orange, and that's the only levels one that is for hitting level 500. But this one right here, we are leaning heavily towards putting it at S tier, which is fair. Hitting level 400 means if you have this unlocked, you're pretty goated, but you're probably going to be using a different emblem because you'll probably have some of these other cooler ones unlocked at that point as well. Now, I am going to put these next two that are unobtainable. I'm going to put them at S, honestly, because you physically can't have these, and if you somehow have these, then that's pretty crazy. So this one is for hitting level 450. This one's for hitting level 500. But yeah, currently unobtainable. So if you have these, you're an admin, and I don't want to hurt your feelings. So they're going at S+. But that is all of the level ones that are in the game. We've only got a couple more sections to go through. So the next section is for T5 revs, or for being able to kill the T5 rev. You get this brain right here. And then if you are Max Zombie Slayer, you get this brain right here. So Slayer level 9, you get the orange brain. B tier, I think that's fair. If you've killed a T5 rev, congratulations, but you're probably pretty early game. If you've hit Zombie Slayer level 9, that's a little bit more impressive, but a lot of people have done that as well. So A tier, pretty good. They look really cool, so they get points for that, but again, not ridiculously impressive. Next up, we have Spider Slayer. So for killing a T4 spider, you get this gray right here. For hitting Spider level 9, you get this one right here. Leaning towards B or C. Honestly, as the tiebreaker, I'm going to put this at C. It's pretty bad. If you've killed a T4 spider, you have like at least a mid mage setup. If you've gotten to Spider level 9, you've spent at least 2 hours doing spiders with a Hyperion or something. So they are super easy, man. They're so easy. It's not that much of a flex to have them. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great, so I don't really love it. I think that's fine. Next up, we have, or for killing a Sven tier 4, or for getting Sven level 9. So this is for killing a T4 Sven, this is for getting level 9 in Sven. Personally, I think they get brownie points for it looking cool. This is the emblem I used for ages. I'm now using the Seraph one because it's more of a flex, of course, but I just like the look of this one. Was the only reason I use this one. Leaning towards A or B, I'm gonna take the reins. I'm putting it at A. I think it's good. This is S tier in my opinion. It is definitely not S+, but it is S tier. It just looks so good, and it's harder because yeah, you can't do magic damage, so it takes a long time to get to Sven level 9. It really does. Next up, we have Seraph level 9 is the shiny one. And then for killing T4 Seraph is the gray. This is definitely more of a flex even than the Sven, but I don't know that it looks that good. It doesn't look like this in game. It looks a little bit different, but personally, I like some other ones a little bit better. Chat is leaning towards S or A. I've got to put it at A. It is much more of a flex, but it just doesn't look good. Now we have Blaze. We'll see what chat says, but I think I know where this is going. The Blaze. This is for killing a Blaze T4. This is for getting Blaze level 9. These look really clean, and it is some of the biggest flexes in the game right now. Getting Blaze level 9 If you've done Blaze level 9, you've done a lot. You've got a good Crimson set. You've got a G drag. You've got T3 daggers. Like, I mean, you've grinded this out. I think it's safe to say, yep, the chat agrees with me. This is going in S, and this is going in S+. Definitely deserved. It's not as impressive as class average 50, I don't think, but it belongs up top. It is the top Slayer. Very, very good. And finally, we have the Riftstalker Bloodfiend, which is the Vampire Slayer from the Rift. This is for killing the tier 5, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, this is for killing a tier 5, and this is for reaching level 5. Personally, I don't think it looks that good, and I don't think it's that much of a flex. It doesn't take long to do. Around 20 hours, you should have this by then. Honestly, it's not that difficult to get your hands on it, in my opinion. Compared to some of these other Slayer ones, you know, these take legit, like, unless it's Spider Slayer or maybe Rev Slayer, anything above that, it takes a ridiculous amount of time. And the chat is leaning towards C. Honestly, I agree. It is an accomplishment to be able to do a T5 Vampire Slayer. It is very difficult, but I don't think it's that good. But that is all the Slayer ones. Moving on to achievements. There are a decent amount of achievement ones that you can unlock, so we'll go over a few of them, but I think I'm going to start putting these in section per my choice a little bit. But this is for completing the Rift Guide, which does not take long. It really doesn't, and it doesn't look good. I'm putting it in D. It's just bad. If you've got this, then you've done the Vamp Slayer, and you're going to use this instead, because it's just not good. All right, next up we have the harp songs, or this is for completing all the songs. This is for completing all the songs with perfect rank. So for this one, you've done the private island ones and you haven't beat the last one, and for this one, you've done the private island ones and you've beat the last one. So honestly, I'm gonna split these up a little bit more. This is D, because if you've gotten to the last one and you haven't beat it, the last one is way easier than the next to last one. You're not really going to use that. This one though, I can't put it at S+, I don't think. I don't know. It looks really, really good. It looks really, really good, but if you have this, you're flexing your ping more than anything else because you need good ping to be able to do it. I'm tempted to put it at S+, just because of how good it looks, because like once I get this is the emblem I'm gonna be keeping like for everything. But I have to put it at S just because so many people can't get it because of where they live in real life. That's the problem. That's the problem. So I'm putting it at S. Next up, we have Kudra Boss Collections. So that is this K right here. That is for hitting 2,000. And there is actually one for hitting 5,000. I don't know why that one's not on here. But we'll just put this one. I think we'll put it at S. And the 5,000, I don't know, maybe at A. It is very impressive to be able to do that many Kudras though, but it doesn't look great. Yeah, we'll go S. And then the legendary one would be at S+. I think that's fair. Then there are the bank upgrades. So this is for Luxurious Bank, which is the second to highest one. And this is for the Max Bank right here. So Luxurious Bank and Max Bank. I think it's safe to put these in A, and this one can go in S. Because, I mean, it means you're rich, of course. You've probably got G-Drag is the only reason you would get these upgrades. But, like, it's not such a big flex that it's, like, as good as getting Blaze Slayer, you know? Like, it's not on that level. It's not on that level. So the high level one, we can put an S. The low level one should be an A. Heart of the Mountain ones, which these don't look like this. They look different in game. They're mid, D, C. It is not a flex. Garden level 12, Garden 15. Now this is more of a flex. This is a bit more of a flex. Personally, it takes way longer. It takes way longer to do Garden. Heart of the Mountain S. I mean, it doesn't take that long, man. You know? It takes longer to get to mining 60 than it does to do Heart of the Mountain. So mining 60 is more of a flex in my opinion. But Garden, that is this flower right here, the fire flower from Mario. I think it goes a little bit higher, but I don't think it's S. B for gray, A for gold. That's kind of what I was thinking. It does look really good, but again, I hit this before I hit farming level 60, so it takes longer to get this farming level, and it's more impressive than it is to get the garden. So we're gonna go with B and A. I think that's fair. We've got the one that I know you guys like. It's the museum top hat, because it looks like a top hat. That's what it looks like, and everyone likes it because that's what it looks like. No other reason. S, I figured that's where, honestly, that's the only reason people use this. Personally, if I had to choose, I'm not gonna be wearing this, but everyone is screaming S+. It looks mid. I agree. I cannot in good conscience put this at S+. The only reason people like it is because it's a meme. I'm putting it at S just so you guys won't scream at me too much. I probably should put it lower. Next up is magical power. So currently, I don't think you can get to the higher level magical power. This one is 2,000 magical power. This one is 1,000 magical power. These are both a flex. So I'm going to put the lower one in S, and the higher one an S plus. I'm pretty sure it's unobtainable right now, but once that's obtainable, that is going to be like a major flex. That will flex your net worth more than any other emblem on here, I think. So that one definitely goes in S plus. But the Reaper Peppers, that is this one. It doesn't look the same as this in game, and it looks a lot better in game. It is a really big flex, but I don't think it's S plus level flex. I don't think it is. Same as bank upgrade in my opinion, same XP, same cost. Yeah, I think it's got to get points for looking really, really good. I think that's the only reason we're going to put it up here, but it is like you've thrown away money on this, basically. I'm going to put it at S. Next up, we've got 500 gifts given, which is this little snowman here. D, no further comment. All gold trophy fish caught, which is this one. It looks a little different in game. And then this one is all diamonds. S, S plus. You have spent hours fishing, not even for sea creatures, to get this one. All right, then we've got the raffle of the century ones. So this was for reaching milestone 2 in the raffle of the century, and this one was for reaching milestone 5. So I think there were only 5 milestones, so this was mid, this one was later, but I think they'll bring these back every year. It's not a flex. It's really not. It's not a flex. D, C. I think that's fair. We'll get to the rest of these in a moment. For reaching the gift milestone in the winter event, that was this one right here. Also mid. It's orange though, so we can't put it at D, so we're gonna put it at C. The Great Spook event one, I don't know why it's not in here. I swear I put it in here, but it didn't get put in here. I would put that one at S just because I might put that one at S plus just because it's the only one that's purple. I think it's the only one. Since it's the only one that's purple, I would put it up top just because it looks so good. Honestly, if you're level in like the level 360 to 400 range and you've got 2 purple things next to your name, it looks pretty dope. So I would put that one at S plus, but it's not in here. Then there's platinum in all crops, which is this one, pretty big flex. And then there's diamond in all crops, which is this one, pretty big flex. I don't know. I don't think it's S plus flex. It's an S plus flex because, like, I think you can do this in Finnegan pretty easily if you've got a decent setup. A, yeah, I agree. We'll do this one in A, this one in S. I think that's fair. Oh, this one is admin or game master. So this is like the Hypixel logo looking one. So that will be an S plus for sure. If you've got this, you're a goat, 100%. Then we've got the color ones here, which I think did green win. I think green won the event. So we're gonna put green at C and the rest at D because we lost. We all lost. L. All right, so this is our tier list right here. We've got a pretty good tier list. So the S plus ones, this is class average 50, foraging 50, kata 50, healer 50, level 400 or level 450, level 500, blaze 9, 2000 magical power, all trophy fish, and admin or game master. Those are the top ones. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and if you want to be part of one of these tier lists, we're probably going to do some more in the future if this video does well. So if you want to see more, leave a like. If you want to be a part of these tier lists, make sure to tune in when we're live. I go live pretty much every Wednesday, every Thursday. I'm going to be live more and more as time goes on. So make sure to tune in if you see me live, and I'll catch you in the next one. God bless.